So I thought this was also interesting as well. If you look up what it means to be a citizen, a person who owes their alliances to a government and in return for government protection. First, it was telling me that it's for somebody who's born in the United States, at least one parent, stuff like that. But then it said a citizen is a person owing their alliances to an and entitled to the protection of the sovereign state. Citizens is preferred for one owing alliances to the state in which sovereign power is retained by the people and sharing in the political rights of those people. Uh, I pledge allegiance to my country. See, that's why they made us pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. When you pledge allegiance, you owe your alliance to the government for the government's protection. Now, the thing that I was arguing about in this is because it doesn't state specifically protection from what. There's no specifics there. It just says a citizen owes their alliances to the government in return for government protection. It doesn't say protection from what. So I would imagine that it would be protection from death, right? From somebody killing you, from dying. The government owes you protection from death, owes you protection from, you know, outside armies that are coming to invade and steal and violate our private property rights or kill us. So if the government's role is to protect us from invasion, protect us from anybody violating our property rights, and protect us from death, more specifically, protection from dying, protection from death, like somebody trying to kill you, or death in general. And if we can get the government to agree to that, yes, you got to protect me from dying, from death. Okay, so why is it that the government doesn't protect me from starving to death? Why doesn't the government protect me from freezing to death? Why doesn't the government protect me from having a heat stroke in too much heat and basically boiling my blood to death? How come those three things are also deadly? It's deadly if you don't eat. It's deadly if you are in too cold of an environment, and it's deadly if you're in too hot an environment. And if the government's role is to protect you, and they're going as far down as to protect us from internet web pages, from certain language that's used on the internet, what we're exposed to on the internet, what we had to do during the lockdowns during COVID. This is all for your protection. We're coddling you. This is just for your protection. Stay here for your protection. Don't go there for your protection. Stay 6 feet away from each other for your own protection. Okay, so they're going to go as far down as to fine tune their role in protecting me that much to internet website to specifics like internet websites and information, and to the point where they're trying to control our interactions with each other. If they're going to go that specific, then how come they don't protect me from the main seriousness causes of death, like starving to death or freezing to death or having a heat stroke and boiling yourself to death? Those three things are very deadly if not protected from them. And if the government doesn't provide protection for all deadly things to people, not just information on the internet, not just the fucking stupid little specifics that they tell us that they're cuddling us, they're protecting us from every little thing that could harm us, then how come they don't protect us from starving to death or freezing to death or any sort of environmental death cause out there? They don't provide us with shelter. They don't provide us with food. They don't provide us with heat. They don't provide us with air conditioning. They don't protect us from any of those elements. And yet, it's their role to provide protection, not nothing specific. It just says protection, and a citizen owes their alliances to a government that provides them with this protection. If they don't provide us with the protection we need to not die, then we do not owe them our alliances. And that's where the argument can be, where you can say, look, if you say I'm a citizen, but the government is not protecting me from all things that are deadly, if the government's role is supposed to protect me from dying, and it doesn't do that, then it's not filling its side of the role. So why do I owe my alliances to a government that's not going to protect me from starving to death? Why do I owe my alliances to a government that it's not going to save me from freezing to death? They're not going to protect me from anything like that. So why do I owe my alliances to a government that doesn't provide me with the protection I need to survive? And they rather protect me from a harmful political website that could influence my thinking of some sort. That is ridiculous. They're going to go far down the line and specifically say we're protecting you by blocking a web page, and yet they don't protect me from starving to death is a massive joke. That is just ridiculous. That means that the government has no claim over us because they do not fulfill their role as us being alliance to them for citizenship. They fail to protect us from starving to death or from anything like that. And so we do not owe our alliances to a government that does not provide full protection to its citizens. And that's the end of that story. Period.